Hello everyone, I hope everybody is doing well and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be trying out the new Rare Beauty collection. This collection here includes the Always an Optimist Pore Diffusing Primer, and it also has a new eyeshadow palette as well as the eye primer. I've tried the eye primer on my channel before, but I'm excited to try it out again today. It looks like they came out with 2 eyeshadow palettes in here, but it's actually just one. They included another one to gift to a friend, but I'm actually going to put this in my giveaway pile, which, speaking of, that fun box over there is actually a giveaway I'm hosting on my Instagram right now. It's going to end April 18th, so if you want to enter, head over to my Instagram and do so. I'm going to be doing a lot more giveaways from here on out. Keep tuned for that. Alongside this Rare Beauty collection, I'm also going to be trying out a couple more things and a few things that are new to me. So before we get into it, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me, and let's get to it. Okay, I'm going to start off this video with, of course, the primer. So about this primer, it says that it blurs the looks of pores, fights shine all day, extends makeup wear, it's non-comedogenic. I know how to say things in my head, but then my mouth just disobeys me and it doesn't come out the way I want it to come out. Comedogenic. That's better. Cruelty-free and vegan. There's hyaluronic acid, green tea extract, and vitamin E. It's $26 USD. Yeah, that's the basics of this primer. Let's squirt some out. Ooh, okay, aggressive. There. I'm gonna take about 2 pumps worth, and I'm going to start in the center of my face. In the center of my face, and then I'll feather it to the outskirts. It doesn't feel super silicone-y, but it does have a slip to it. Definitely cut the shine of my skin. I'm going to apply a touch more right in the center here just so I can see in the mirror what it actually does. I was a little far away. Oh yeah, it definitely blurs. I think that looks nice. So let's see how it wears underneath a foundation. And today I'm going to be using the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Radiant Sheer Foundation. This is the same formula as the OG Face and Body Foundation. I think they just extended the shade range, or like revamped it, I believe, and they also changed up the packaging. Funny enough, I've actually never tried this foundation. Actually, that's a little bit of a fib because I tried it one time in makeup school, but that was 3 years ago, so I do not remember at all my thoughts about this. They sent over the shade N1, so I'm gonna shake it up. We'll see if it's a good match. I hope so. I'm just gonna squirt some on the back of my hand here. I'm gonna start off with that much. I think that's gonna be a good match, actually. So you can see the consistency, it's quite liquidy. And they also sent over a brush, which I'll try out with it. This is the MAC 170 brush. I know this foundation is supposed to be very, very sheer, pretty much like a skin tint. Just adds glow and like a nice filtering effect to your skin. The color actually looks pretty good to me. It looks a little pale when I apply it at first, but it blends out really nicely. I really like what I'm seeing so far. Like I said in one of my recent videos, I've been more drawn towards lighter coverage things, or I'm trying to lessen the amount of coverage I've been using on my face the last 6 months-ish. Just I'm trying to embrace like the scars and such, and I just like a more natural base, especially for the warmer months. I feel like it wears better. It's not as uncomfortable, nor does it feel like it's going to melt off my face as quickly. So I feel like this is something I could vibe with. And it plays well with that primer. It doesn't pill or anything. It just looks very, very flawless. I actually really like this brush too. It created a very flawless finish. It's a nice dense brush, and a lot of the product stayed on top instead of soaking into the brush. These are my favorite types of foundation brushes to go to. I'm gonna let that set for a minute, and I'm going to try to add a second layer to my acne scars just to see how this builds up and such. It pretty much gives the same effect as my Milani Screen Queen and Glossier skin tint mixture. It just looks like skin, but just filtered and corrected. Yeah, so it doesn't really build up much after the initial layer, I see. I'll try with a sponge. This is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge, I believe. Yeah, it pretty much just got soaked up by the sponge. So I think once your initial layer is on, you would have to go in with your concealer to spot correct, but I'm really, really happy with this. If you're someone who likes a more natural base, just a glow giver, and just like a soft filter, I think you'd really enjoy this. And I'm sorry, but I can't compare it to the other formula before they revamped this. But from the post that I saw, they didn't change up the formula at all, just the shades and the packaging. For my concealer, I'm going to be using my Send help. Send actual help. Oh my god. I need to start doing vocal exercises before I hit record on my camera, I swear. I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Hydrating Camel Concealer Satin Finish in the shade Light Sand. I like to apply 2 little dots, well, bigger dots, and I only apply a small amount to begin with, especially because I have a lighter coverage foundation going on. I don't want my under eyes to look so corrected. And I pulled out my Kosas Revealer Concealer in the shade 4 to further correct my cheeks. I'm doing this because if I were to use my e.l.f. one, it would really highlight these areas instead of just blending into the base. And if you have any active acne, you can apply your concealer right beside that dot instead of applying it right directly onto that dot so you don't contaminate your concealer. But if you're using it over scars, it's not a big deal at all since those are just scars. I'm not trying to fully cover them, I just want them to be more filtered. I really like my base so far. It looks really nice and glowy. For my bronzer, I pulled out the Kosas one. I'm using the shade Light, and I'm applying it with my Moda Pro angled blush brush. Check out my new water bottle. It's massive. Don't ask me how many times I pee a day now. Want to see me chug? All right, too much pressure. Don't look at me. This base is just getting better and better and better today. Alongside of the Face and Body Foundation, MAC sent this cream color base. It's a multi-use cream base, but this is the shade Pearl, and I just swatched it, and it looks like the most lovely, very, very natural highlight. You can barely see it on my hand here. Let me do a thicker swatch. Can you see it, kind of? Anyways, I feel like it would be a beautiful soup snatch highlighter. I'm going to be using this Moda highlighter brush, and I'm just going to load it up onto here. And I'm going to first paint it onto all of the areas where I want to highlight, and then I'll buff it into my skin. Okay, this is lovely. It's actually more intense on the face than I was expecting, but that's probably because I loaded up my brush like crazy. But that looks beautiful. There's random pieces of chunky glitter, not in the highlight, but just in my workspace. So if you see a little sparkle here on out, it's not because of the products. This thing is gorgeous. Look at that on my cheekbones. It doesn't feel sticky at all, but it looks very glossy and sheer and dewy and all the things I look for in a cream highlight. And it applied very, very easily with the brush. I don't know why this isn't talked about more on the internet, to be honest. It doesn't accentuate any texture. It just settles onto my natural texture really nicely. There's no visible pearls or glitter. It just is a dream. Very, very excited about this. What's next? After highlight comes blush. I have these things again from Iconic London. It's the sheer blushes. This is the shade Fresh Faced. And I'm going to use this Quo Beauty foundation brush, but I'm going to apply it right over here for a subtle flush of color. This is a gorgeous color. It's very, very subtle. I wanted something on the toned down side today. You guys know I love to pile on the blush some days, but today I just wanted to go for a very subtle vibe. That's pretty. I have this pulled out. This is the Milk Makeup Electric Glossy Lip Plumper. I wanted to apply it before I move on to eyes and brows, just to see the effects of this, because I used this once in my video at the end of the application, so I was never able to see how plumping it was or whatnot. So I'm gonna apply the clear one and see what happens. Add a little drama to this video. I don't know what it smells like, but it smells so nice to me. It's like a mixture of pine trees and like eucalyptus maybe. It is quite sticky though, like you'll get the little strings, but we'll see how plumping it is. Before I move on to my eyes and brows, I wanted to mist my face with the e.l.f. and Jen Atkin Mist Me Mist. Feels so nice. It's such a fine mist. Ew, okay, this is making gross stuff on my lips. So while that's settling into my base, I'm going to quickly do my brows off camera, and I'm going to throw some of this eye primer on. So please enjoy the brow intermission. So update on my lips. I feel like they definitely plumped a little bit. They feel very, very tingly, but not like a normal plumping gloss tingle. It feels like I'm holding a vibrating toothbrush to my lips or something. I wiped most of it off because I was making those very gloopy white strings, and that grosses me out, so I don't think you need it. It's definitely a product I say you should pass on. I'm now going to whip out the eyeshadow palette. This is the True to Myself Discovery palette. This is what it looks like here. I love the packaging and the layout. Here's the front of it. I really like how it's laid out like the phases of the moon. I think it's fun and different. So let's put the shades to the test. I have some new fresh Smith brushes here in front of me. They launched 2 new shapes in their brushes. They launched the 233 as well as the 237. 237 is bigger than the 232, which originally was their largest brush. So here's the 232. And here's the 237. Very nice, very floofy. And they also launched a tiny, tiny little one, which I am super excited about. It's smaller than the 230 brush. Here's the 230 right here. I love Smith brushes. They're definitely an investment, but they last. When I was first really getting into makeup, I purchased a 230 and a 232. Here's my original Smith brushes. You can see the gold plating is like pretty much gone. They just look very old. And here's the new ones. Yeah, you can see the quality. They still survived throughout all of these years. The first shade I'm going to be using is this one right here. It's a nice warm peachy tone. These are the first matte eyeshadows that they launched, I believe, because they launched those all shimmer palettes and the liquid shadows. So these are the first mattes, and they perform quite nicely from what I'm seeing right now. And now taking my Smith 230, and I'm going to dip into this one right here. And I'm gonna start bringing that on the outer portion of the eye. I'm switching over to my Smith 233, and I'm going to bring that color all along my lower lash line. And continuing with that brush, I'm going to dip into this plummy deep brown to deepen up the outer V. I'm going to reintroduce that first peachy shade back into the crease a little higher, just so we have that warmth. And I'm also going to take whatever's left on my brush and follow through on the bottom. Now I'm going to dip into this fun shade here, which looks like a duochrome. Let's see if it catches it on camera. See, so it's like pinky, and in the mirror here you can see that it's like a yellowy golden color. And I'm going to use that all over my lid. Ooh, that looks so cool. I really like that color. It ties in the purple hues of the outer corner work and also the warm hues in the crease. I'd like to see what this shadow does if it's dampened a tiny bit. So I'm taking some of this spray that I used earlier, and I'm spritzing this fluffy small brush. I don't know what brush this is from, or who this brush is from rather, because the label rubbed off, but it's just a little floofer. And I'm going to add this shade over here, right in the middle, as my inner corner highlight. Has some peachy tones to complement the crease color. This eye look turned out prettier than I was expecting. Fun, there's lots of variety in tones in here. It's very eye-catching. So I'm going to quickly catch this eye up to speed real quick, and I'll be right back. So here are both eyes with shadow all done. For my mascara, Velour launched one. This is the Pretty Big Deal Peptide and Tubing Mascara. It's a 3-in-1 lash serum, lash shield, and mascara. Ooh, and the wand is kind of like a banana, a slight banana. It has a slight curve to her. So let's see how this goes. In my experience, most tubing mascaras come with those plasticky silicone wands. So I'm interested to see how this one works out. And I have big expectations from a mascara from a brand that usually does falsies. I'm not really seeing anything crazy right now. So this is, it says here that it's mostly a lengthening mascara. I'm going to add a second layer. So it's definitely a lengthening one, but it's not super lengthening. I feel like it just coated my lashes nicely. I don't know, it's not my favorite, that's for sure. I feel like this could be a pass. Like it works, but it's not wowing me at all. What do you guys think? Okay, so here are the eyes all finished. I actually really love how they turned out. The duochrome on my eyes is super, super fun. I'll try to include a clip of the shift. Maybe I'll do one of those clips where I spin in a circle or something. But yeah, here are the eyes all finished. What do you guys think of them? But now let's move on to the lips. For my lip liner, I'm going to be using my Smashbox Medium Neutral Rose The Legendary Line and Prime Pencil. I feel like this tone will go nicely with the eye color. And I wanted to finally try out one of these Coach glosses that they came out with. This is Nude Pink, so we'll test it out. I really like the little flower on the top. It has the C for Coach and a little raised flower. It's a nice detail. It doesn't feel like the most luxurious packaging. What just happened? I think the stopper broke. Look at this. Okay, don't focus on me for a second. Like, look, it's so glooped. Oh God, I'm not gonna use this. Look at that. Just as I was saying, the packaging doesn't feel very luxurious. Yeah, it's so cheap. I'm gonna try out a different color, maybe this one. Let's see if this is any better. This is the shade Shimmer. Legitimately the same thing happened. Big fail. I'm going to, oh, now it's back, it's fine all of a sudden. Okay, I'm gonna try it. It has a very stiff doe foot that doesn't allow you to apply much product. So I have to dip in multiple times. I don't know, this feels very old lip gloss technology, like the ones you used to be able to get from the drugstore or like the OG MAC ones. I don't know, I get vibes from when I used to steal my mom's lip glosses from her purse. She always wore MAC see-through. I'd always steal it and just pile that on. It's like the same stickiness. I'm gonna wipe this off and try something else. I'd say that these are a huge pass. Cheaply made and a cheap formula as well, and I'm sure that the price was hiked up, especially for the Coach collection. Definitely not worth a penny in my opinion. I'm going to try one of these MAC Glow Play tinted lip balms. This is the shade Sweet Treat. It looks like so. Let's see. Oh, that's a lot more frosted than I was expecting. Okay, I'm having a huge lip fail today. Maybe this one. This is the shade Grapely Admired. Okay, that's better. I feel like that pulls the color of the duochrome on my eyes. Feels quite average for a tinted lip balm. It feels nice and nourishing. And there's a nice amount of tint to it as well. It's not like so sheer that it doesn't show up. And I have naturally quite pigmented lips, so I'm happy to see this result. I don't know if it's like the most unique thing out there, or I would say like run to the MAC store to pick it up, but it's nice. I'm going to apply one of these sheer ones. This one looks a little champagne-y. I know it's not going to show up on my lips, but it's fun. This is the shade Queen Bee. Ooh, that feels very nice and slippery. It is a lip oil. It feels exactly like a lip oil. I thought it was gonna be a gloss. Ooh, it's so thick. It's giving me Tower 28 vibes, but like a lip oil version. It feels very slippery. It adds a very glass glow to your lips. And it's not very sticky. Like I'm not getting those lines at all. So that's a success. Okay, so things turned around for the better. I actually really like that texture. Okay, saved it. I saved it. So here is the look all complete. I think it turned out very nicely. My favorite thing about today's look is my skin. That is what's standing out to me the most right now. Honestly, all of the things turned out really nicely today. So I wasn't planning on doing a wear test, but I was just about to wash my face and I thought I'd pop in, but here is the makeup. I've been wearing it for like 8.5 hours. I finished filming at 2 and it's now 10:30 and everything wore really nice. Every time I looked at myself in the mirror, I loved how my base looked. I feel like this is going to be a popular combo for me. I just love the finish. It lasted really nicely on my oily combo skin. The eyes turned out really nice as well. I feel like my eyes are threatening to crease now. I don't think this eye primer is as solid as the Fenty Beauty one, but I will still put this one to use, especially if I want to correct my eyelids. It's faded around my jaw here because I always rest my hand like this, but I love my makeup today. I love it. Today. So let's go through the new things I tried out. For the Rare Beauty primer, I feel very excited about this one. I feel like it made my skin look really nice. It didn't cut all of the shine out of my skin, but it nicely blurred it out. I don't see as many of my pores right now, and I feel like it just overall looks very flattering. And it paired really nicely with the MAC Face and Body Foundation. I'm going to have to test this out over the course of the month, of course. I'll definitely update you in my roundup video. I'm excited to see how this plays with my other favorite foundations and how it wears throughout today. But right now I feel very excited and hopeful for this primer. Moving on to the MAC Face and Body Studio Radiance Foundation. I'm ultra excited about this. I see myself wearing this a ton over the summer. This is the perfect amount of coverage I've been looking for. It performed really nicely. It just added a sheer veil of coverage that still allowed my skin to shine through. It just looked nice and corrected, cut the redness out. I don't know, I feel like my skin looks incredible today. And it hasn't moved around or anything, nor did it gather in any areas. I feel like it ignored my drier patches, my healing spots really nicely, and on my skin where it's in good condition, it looks phenomenal. I feel very, very, very excited about this. I might have to pick up a deeper color just for my tan days. This is another product I'm extremely excited about. It's the cream color base from MAC in the shade Pearl. This highlighter today looks so nice and natural. It just looks like a natural satin effect to the high points of my face. It doesn't stand off my face at all. It just blended right in. It's such a nice sheer texture that's not sticky at all. I don't know, I feel super excited about this, and I don't know why more people haven't talked about this. This is a little treasure, I think, of today's video. For the Milk Makeup Glossy Lip Plumper, I think this is a total pass in my opinion. I didn't see like that dramatic of a lip plumping effect, and I think the texture of this product is way too gloopy. It created those like white frothy gross, that's too gross. Save your money on these guys, that's for sure. For the Rare Beauty True to Myself eyeshadow palette, I adore the packaging. I think it's very sweet, and I love how the shadows themselves are laid out in here. I love how it's reminiscent of the phases of the moon. I had no trouble blending any of these shadows out. They built up very nicely. There's no patchiness issues. They have a really nice soft silky texture to them that pretty much blends themselves out. I was able to use pretty much all of the tones in here except for two, and I swatched them on my hand here so you can see them against my skin tone. This pressed glitter shade is so crazy. It looks so beautiful on camera too. This golden shade here is fun too. I'm not a huge fan of pressed glitters, but this one seems to be really nice. Usually you can see some patchiness issues, but it really adhered to my skin nicely. I'm gonna have to do a look with that, but it seems that the formula of the shadows themselves is pretty solid. Just upon my personal preferences though, I don't see myself reaching towards this eyeshadow much. These aren't my everyday go-to tones. I feel like this is a palette that might just sit in my drawers and not get a ton of use just because these colors don't super call out to me or excite me. But if these tones are your tones, I don't think you'd be disappointed in this palette at all. They all performed beautifully. For this mascara here, the Velour Pretty Big Deal mascara, it didn't stand out to me at all. It worked fine, but I feel like the effect is very general. I fear that this mascara won't stand out to me compared to the other ones I always reach for, so I feel like this will just kind of collect dust in my collection. I don't think it's completely worth it. I feel like there's a lot nicer mascaras out there, so I feel like this would be a pass. And for the lips, the Coach collection here, I feel like they really cut corners on this collection and they really missed the mark in a lot of ways. And it really is reminiscent in these glosses. You can tell that these are made super cheap and the formula is cheap. I don't know, they tried, but they did not succeed in my opinion. The only fun thing about this is like the top detail, the little pearl. It's very gorgeous looking at it from a top view, but these are just a complete mess in my opinion. Now for the MAC tinted lip balms. I would say that these aren't my favorite tinted lip balms. I mean, I feel like they aren't anything special. It did feel really nice. It was just like a nice lip balm with a hint of color. I don't think you need to spend much money on a tinted lip balm. I feel like there's a wide variety of really amazing ones at the drugstore. The first ones that come to mind are the Wet n Wild. These ones right here. Here's one I pulled out with the little kiss on the front. I'll link these down below, but those are far more worth it. I don't think I'll be using these much. And finally, for the lip oils from Iconic London, I feel really excited about these. It feels so nice on my lips. These colors are kind of fun too. Some of them mostly won't show up on my lips. Like I don't need all of these colors, that's for sure. Maybe I'll include some in a giveaway or something, but it feels really nice and luxurious on the lips. I love the shine. It feels really nice and nourishing, and I love the slip it has, and it doesn't seem to be bleeding at all. It's staying put on my lips. These are going to be products I'm going to reach for a lot. So there we have it. Those are my first initial thoughts on all of the new products I tried out today. Keep tuned for my, what month is it? April? Keep tuned for my roundup for my final opinions on all of these products. I will be testing these out throughout the month, but I think that concludes today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll make sure to link all of these products in the description down below as always, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.